me share it first. So you are welcome to my healthy food place, where we share ideas and recipes on how you can stay healthy naturally. And in this first edition of using the board to explain some things, I also welcome you to this interesting aspect or level of the channel. And the topic or subject before us today says food source of vitamin E and how it works. Very interesting topic. I thought to talk about it because vitamin E is one of the vitamins that is often overlooked. And I will focus more on how the vitamin E works. That's where I want to focus more, because a lot of us know the food sources. Though I will start with the food sources of the vitamin E, which a good number of us are already familiar with. But as a reminder, let me just call it a reminder. Yes, a reminder, because a good number of us, I think I need to remove this thing. Yes. So a good number of us will, normally want it to be rehearsed. I mean, the vitamin E. Now, vitamin E is one of the major vitamins. Now, we're not going to be looking into the origin of vitamins and all of that. We leave that for those experts. But the fact is, we are familiar with some major vitamins and other micronutrients, like the vitamin A, vitamin B. A lot of people are already familiar with it. But there are some things I want to reveal today about the vitamin E. It's one of the vitamins that a lot of older adults, seniors, should focus on. And I'll give you some of the reasons. Now we have a lot, thank you for those likes. Now we have vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, then vitamin K. Now some of these vitamins are very popular, like the vitamin A, B, B. Now let us know that these vitamins are further categorized into two groups: the water-soluble vitamins and the fat-soluble vitamins. Now, the water-soluble vitamins, like the vitamin B and the vitamin C, those ones, you must take them regularly because you can urinate them out and you need them on a daily basis. The vitamin B for energy, the vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant, we all know. But never mind. Today is about the vitamin E. It's a special vitamin which I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen very well to what I want to say about the vitamin E and why you should search out for the foods that contain the vitamin E, especially for seniors. The most common food. Now, the vitamin E is among the fat-soluble vitamins. I will explain some of these things, but I want to be quick to take us to how the vitamin E works and why it is so unique. And it is at that point I want to show us, borrowing some word terms that I just thought of. Honestly, sometimes this thing just come to my mind. You permit me to use those word terms when describing the role and how the vitamin E works and why you must, as a matter of fact, set your eyes on the foods that contains this essential vitamin. The common foods are foods like avocados. You can find them in nuts like peanuts, like almonds. You can find them in a lot of seeds, oils. All these oils, they are very, very good source. You can find them in some fatty fish like tuna. All these fatty fish, some of them are good sources. I'm talking of the vitamin E. The vitamin E is also one of the vitamins a lot of people normally want to take as a supplement or whatever, because maybe they have been told or given one reason or the other, so they just want to buy vitamin E. But it's also one of the vitamins that I would advise you not to take as a supplement. Why? Because it's among the fat-soluble vitamins. Now, the fat-soluble vitamins can remain in the body after many days. They are not, so they can easily get toxic. That is the peculiar thing about the fat-soluble vitamins. So if you don't take them for a day or 2 or 3 days, the ones that are stored can still be working for you, but not like the water-soluble vitamins. Now, you can get them, like I said, even the red palm oil is a source of vitamin E. That's good news for those of you who are lovers of red palm oil. The wheat germ is a good source of the vitamin E. You can find the vitamin E in a lot of the common foods around. But a lot of us, and I want to repeat, a lot of us are not so conscious of it. And the moment you start getting to 40, 50, 60 years, you need to be more conscious about the vitamin E because of its role for your heart, because of its role for your brain, because of its role for your skin. But I will tell you how the vitamin E, why it's so unique. And I'm so interested in it. Now, when you talk about the water-soluble vitamin, you urinate them out. Yeah. Now, most of these vitamins, they operate either as a fat-soluble vitamin or a water-soluble vitamin. Now, those ones that are water-soluble, like vitamin C, I refer to what they do. They fight the aerial battles. Let me just try to explain what I'm saying. I hope you see what I'm saying. Now, assuming that this is the cells, this point is the cellular point, the ground level. I hope you can see what I'm showing there. So, I hope you can see me. Let me bring it closer. Yes, so that you can see it. Now, assuming that these are the place where the cells are, all of them are mysteriously interlocked around themselves, all the cells. And the way they are, some must not touch one, some may not touch the other one. In fact, it's so mysterious. They operate at certain, so specialized. It is at that, when you see things like this, that you begin to appreciate the work of God, that we are not just ordinary beings. So the way let's assume that these are the point where the cells are. You can see it. Now, when you have something like vitamin C, the vitamin C is fighting the area battle. Let me use the word term there. So before the bacteria, before the viruses, before all the other enemies, because of course it's proper to use the word area and ground battle, because when you are fighting area battle in the war terms, I say permit me to use those war terms, because what goes on in our body is no different from war. Yes, it's a war between you and the bacteria that want to invade your body. So now I'm using the war terms when a country is being attacked. Now, first of all, that country will experience the area fight. Area. That is, the aeroplane, the helicopters will be moving. And that is what happens at this point. I'm trying to tell us that these are the cells, where the cells are. And that the bacteria, the viruses, the microbes, everything that wants to attack the cells are coming here. But the work of the vitamin C, which fights the area battle, is to neutralize them at this point. so that they don't get down to this place. And that is also the work of the other, most of the antioxidants. They destroy them before they get to this place. That is my own explanation. That is how I conceive what goes on. Now, the fat-soluble vitamins are at this point to protect the cells. And what are those fat-soluble vitamins? Vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin D. Then we come to the vitamin E, the subject of the day. Now, the vitamin E is the only vitamin that fights both at this point and at this point. You can go and do your study. There is no other vitamin that is working here and working here too. Yes. And that is why I don't joke with vitamin E rich foods at this point of my life. You can find them in nuts, like peanuts, all these nuts, almond nuts, avocados, wheat germ, some fatty fish, all this melon seed, even red palm oil is a good source, vitamin E, a lot of sources of vitamin E. You need to go search out for the food sources and don't joke with that vitamin. Why? Because vitamin E, like I told you, is the only vitamin that fights at the cellular level and at the same time also operating at the aerial level. Now, if a country is facing a war, for instance, the fight begins at the aerial level where the helicopters are fighting, and to come to the ground fight is always difficult. And if the enemy, the attacking country or nation, enemy successfully comes to this point, to the ground battle, it means that they have won. It means that you are defeated, that country is defeated, if they can successfully come down to the ground battle. Because sometimes they'll be flying helicopters, sending bombs. That is what happens at this point. When the microbes, all the attackers, all the enemies that want, all the diseases that want to attack, that want to come in to attack our cells, they are neutralized at that point. But the vitamin E fights at these 2 points. Vitamin A doesn't do it. Vitamin B does not do it. How does it? Vitamin E works, it's a water-soluble vitamin, so it works only up. It doesn't work down. The vitamin C works only up. Another, whether B1, B2, and all the other ones, other groups, various groups. But only the vitamin E works. Remember, the vitamin E supports your heart. Very important for seniors. It's for your skin. Talking of vitamin E. Remember, it's great for your eyes. Those of you who want to support your eyes, vitamin E. It's great for your gut. It's good for your skin, helps your skin. Now, if you look at all parts of your body, including your hair growth, almost all parts needs vitamin E. As you are aging, you need to focus more on vitamin E rich food. There are some nutrients that you don't need to focus too much on. But the point we need to understand about the vitamin E is that it can also become toxic because it's a fat-soluble vitamin. So you don't have to just buy the synthetic vitamin E and begin to consume. And I have also said it before in some of my videos that vitamin E is not something you should be going for over-the-counter medication because you want to replenish. I have seen someone who was taking all the supplements of vitamin E and the rest of it, and he was still not having the vitamin E when tested. And now I've seen someone also who was taking who wasn't taking all of that, but he has enough of the vitamin E. And that is why, let me tell you some of the secrets I also found out. Foods like olive oil is a good source of vitamin E. Now, if you are having all the time heart issues, sleep problems, low energy, poor digestion, you may need to focus on vitamin E rich foods. Yes. If you always have heart related problem, whether it's heart palpitation or anything about heart, it may be that you need the vitamin E rich foods. And that's why I don't play with nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, all those kind of seeds, sesame seeds. These are seeds that support heart health, and a good number of them are able to achieve this benefit because of the vitamin E presence. Now, the vitamin E also is a vitamin that even if you don't take it, being a fat soluble vitamin, even if you don't take it a day or two, it may not make you to become malnourished or deficient. I mean, the ones you take, because of its nature, it can still move on with you for a few days, unlike the other ones. And so there are also a good number of vegetables that you can get the vitamin E from. I mean, some vegetables, if you eat a variety of vegetables, you are likely to get the vitamin E. Now, the vitamin E also is one of the nutrients that I do not advise you to continue taking its supplement for a long time. And it's not only the vitamin E, all the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A. Some of you just buy any vitamin, whatever, maybe because of the beautiful commercials, you just buy and you start taking. No, maybe because it's well packaged, you buy it and you start drinking it, you start taking it, you want to get more vitamin E. The ugly part of it is that sometimes you take these things. That's what I have personally found out. For you to be shocked that when you ran a test, you didn't have them. Now you'll be asking yourself, where was the ones I was taking? Where was it going? These are things I have found out over the years. Some of them are best gotten from the natural foods, because it's not only one form of vitamin E that exists. The tocopherol is the one that we know is very common with human, and we normally get it from most of the foods. But when you are buying some that are packaged, or they could add all kinds of vitamin E because of the various combinations of it. Some of them your body may not even have need of them. And being something of a fat soluble nature, it can easily go toxic. You can buy vitamin C and take it and urinate it out before the next day, so it can become toxic. Why? It cannot go, when you say something is toxic, it begins to suffocate the healthy cells because it's being stored. Because when you take it, it continues, even the excess of it continues to be stored at the cellular level here, at this cellular level. And over time, you see what I'm showing you, at this black line, at this cellular level, and over time, you notice that you are feeling things like headache, you are feeling some form of toxicity. Then you may just start feeling some form of dullness, a lot of other symptoms, sometimes even dizziness. So other symptoms could begin to show up because of the fact that that vitamin, you have taken too much of it. And that is why I do not suggest that you take fat soluble vitamins over a long period of time because of its effect. It doesn't wash out immediately like the water soluble vitamins. It doesn't just wash out as you go urinate them out. No, they get stored for some time at this point. They get stored. And as they get stored at this cellular point, and you continue to bring in more of it from the up, they begin to suffocate the cells. That is what happens. And because they are in fat-soluble nature, because they are the fat-soluble nature, they are not nutrients or vitamins that you can easily drink enough water. They tell you drink enough water to wash it away. No! Fat-soluble vitamins do not operate like that. Now, if you are a senior, an older adult, a menopausal woman, you need vitamins E, more of it. Because I remember some years back when I was getting to be 40 and I started having sometimes all the hard stuff which wasn't there before. Of course, these were obvious signs of premenopause, but not known to me. I was ignorant then. But I was always having all the stuff like stiffness of hand, heart issues, the heart is not always free, and all of that. My dear, because I was not conscious of the role of vitamin E, and I was not even mindful to include foods, to get it from food. So it is best to get it from food sources, as I mentioned already. And then do not take the supplement. If you must take the supplement, do not take it for over a long period of time because it can easily get toxic. Vitamin E is it's a blood thinner. Yes, lest I forget. Yes, vitamin E is a blood thinner. Remember, that's why I told us that it works two ways. Now, something like that, you should expect maybe it should be thickening your blood, it should be doing like this. No. It's a blood thinner. And you know the effect of blood thinners. Now, if the blood is too thin, because of the presence of either you are taking over the count too much of the vitamin E, either as a medication or as a supplement. When the blood becomes too thin, it's going to be giving you symptoms like that of stomach ulcer. Even though the vitamin E is also one of the very calming vitamins. It works well for stress, I tell you. It works well for anxiety feelings. If you are having all those things and you are eating foods that are rich in vitamin E, you will observe that it is easy for you to manage these conditions like anxiety, attack, and all of that. Low energy, because the vitamin E is almost all encompassing. That's how it works. It works at the aerial point. Look at it. Is that not interesting? And apart from working up to neutralize free radicals, it's also working down at the cellular point. And that is what ended the name of being a fat soluble vitamin, because it's working here. But apart from that, it's also working at this point. That sounds quite interesting. I think to me, it's quite, in fact, when I first came across these informations some years ago, was quite exciting. I became quite interested, very much interested, or much more interested in vitamin E. And it was then I began to be more and more determined, deliberate, to get them into my diet. Foods like soya beans. Yes, well-processed soya beans is a source of vitamin E. And I always ensure I have it, part of it in my diet, because it helps to fight things like early wrinkling. Reduce early signs of aging. The vitamin E does a lot. It calms you down when you take foods, when you get it, especially from natural food sources. It's mostly a plant-based, apart from the fatty fish where you can get it, some of the fatty fish, a good number of the things like wheat germ, seeds, nuts, all of that. It's mostly, I think it's originated from plant. It's something went through, but it's more of plant. You can get more of it from plant. That's why if you eat a variety of vegetables, you are sure to. There is one other food. Egg is a source of vitamin E. And when you are talking of the vitamin E, it is in that yellow part of the egg that a lot of you are running away from. And that is why I often advise you, some of you, when you want to eat your egg, you remove the best part and say that white part is what you are advised to eat. Stop it. Because this rare vitamin, this rare nutrient called vitamin E is found in the yellow part of that egg. And it is also in that yellow part that you find the cholesterol. That's where it is. And it is also in that yellow part that you find the highest amount of vitamin A in most foods. It is there you find vitamin K for blood clotting. That is why I say it's a healing food. Boiled egg is inflammation fighting food. It's a source of naturally occurring vitamin E, not synthetic, because there are lots of synthetic over-the-counter vitamin E, which people have, as a matter of fact, some of them are so well packaged that you will almost not be able to resist them when you see the packaging. And so don't be carried away, my dear. Focus more on naturally occurring vitamin E to get your vitamin E to help your body to fight. And are you aware that it helps fight diseases like cancers? Yes, it can help to ward them off. It helps to reduce inflammations. That is the vitamin E I'm talking. Just like the vitamin A does too. The vitamin E helps in reducing inflammations. So it does a lot. Your eyes need it. Your brain needs it, the vitamin E. Which vitamin is like that? Your skin needs it. Your heart needs it, even almost the more. Almost all parts of your body need it. I mean the vitamin E. And so it's not something that you just, especially for older adults, it's not something that you just be selective when you are choosing your food. And be sure that you get those ones, you focus on those ones that carries or comes with naturally occurring vitamin C and vitamin E. You see, the vitamin E found in peanuts is good. Yes. That's why no matter what I hear about peanuts, I still snack on peanuts. So is that so? What are you saying is that so? Can I get your point, my beloved sister Lucina Ohonsi? It seems you are following me very well. So what aspect is that so? Are you talking? What aspect? Is what I want to get your question so I can throw more light. So I can throw more light on it. Yes, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting. Ohonsi, Lucina. So I'm talking of the vitamin E, that if you discover the role and how it works for you, you will not joke with it. Because it's only vitamin that fights area battle and fights ground battle for you. If the enemy is fighting at the top, like in a country that is ravaged by war, I use that because our body is always under attack. If you don't know, enemy is trying to come in. But if that country continues to fly only on top, like I explained here, if the microbes and the bacteria continue to come up, to enter the cell, to come down, and they are not able, they cannot defeat you. But anyone that successfully comes down to this point, at the cellular point, is very difficult to overcome that enemy. And that is why I said, don't joke with it. Peanut is a good source. I've had a lot. Some people say they don't eat peanuts again. Even me, I've tried to abandon it too. They say it has what do they call it? I know it's toxic. It's inflammation causing. If you take too much, if you take, I'm talking of it's acidic. Yes, it has what is it called? They call it. It has aflatoxins. Many bad things. But I tell you, a few times I tried to not to take the peanut. My heart doesn't feel strong. Yes, my heart doesn't feel. The problem we have with the nuts is that many times we overdo it. Now we're all victims of this. Many times you see the peanut is so tasty and you start eating, and then because of its acidic nature, its calorific nature, we take more than our body can take. So it begins to give us trouble on our heart. But if we can only take a tiny portion, it's a good source of vitamin E, readily available. The same thing with melon seed, pumpkin seed, most of sesame seed, what is it called? These are avocados, avocado fruit, even mangoes. Mango is a good source. What is it called? Almonds. So many of it. I mean, you can focus on these foods. Make sure you add them to your food, including vegetables, a variety of vegetables. Red palm oil is a source of this vitamin E we are talking. But I'm using more of the peanut oil because of the saturated fat content and the profile of the red oil, which I tend to prefer the peanut oil profile to that. It's a profile thing. The peanut profile, which I've gone through, is very close to olive oil, and it has a very pleasant taste. In addition, because taste also is everything. So it's not something you just say no, it doesn't matter. So that's about it. Yes, there are good sources, the nuts, the vegetables, the seeds. That's where you can find most of them, apart from a few fatty fish where you can find the vitamin E. So I hope you get this explanation that I made here, explaining how the vitamin E works, and the area fight is fighting for you, and the ground battle is also there for you. So, and it is the only vitamin that does that. And that's why, as you are aging, you need to focus more on that vitamin, because it's very important for your heart. Very, very important. Foods like walnut. Mango is a good source. You know, we say mango is a source of sugar, and a lot of other things we say about mango. It's high in sugar, but I tell you the truth. I eat mango now. I know I'm eating mango. You see, papaya seed. It's a good source too. Papaya seed. All those fruits. It's a good source. If you get the papaya seed, I just got some now. I've been able to gather some. By the time I have time, I'll go to blend and grind to powder, and then add some this, because of the vitamin E in it, and the vitamin A and vitamin E. That my dried papaya seed. I want to add coconut oil when I have time, grind to powder. I'll be using it to rub my body, to firm up my skin, because that's part of what it does, and then to reduce the wrinkles. To reduce, not that the wrinkles won't come, but at least to reduce the speed with which the wrinkles. Some people, when you see them at 50 or 55, wrinkles are everywhere. Sometimes because they're not getting enough vitamin E. They don't even know about it. Yes, what we are saying, a good people don't know. Me, I didn't know before. That time that I didn't know it, I was always having heart problem. Why? Ignorance. Every time, heart problem. Because that important nutrient is not there. Sometimes you talk with some persons and they tell you, don't eat this, don't eat that. And that's why I say stop. I made a video that you should stop all of that. Don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. Because we'll be missing out a lot of things. I've been through it. So when you now start avoiding this because of sugar, avoid because of at time, before you know it, you don't even have the vitamin E anywhere. You don't even have magnesium anywhere. You don't have vitamin A anywhere. Because they're all found in these foods. You know how I did a video also where I showed us that I was enjoying myself with a cup of coffee with small milk. It may sound strange to some people, but I did it to let us know that I'm not that, don't do this too much like that. Because all these foods contain vitamin E, small amount here and there. So by the time you put everything together, just don't make it habitual. Make sure you eat a variety of these foods, a variety of these nuts, so that you can have, this vitamin E, which you need to support a lot of other parts and organs of your body. And so, my sister, yes, you are talking about the nuts. Yes, you can find them in nuts. A lot of the nuts are good sources. And nuts is my best friend. I eat cashews. Even this morning, before coming here, I had a few cashew nuts. After my breakfast, I had a few peanuts, all of that. Pumpkin seeds, I took a little of it. Sesame seed. Just, why am I taking all of this small here and there? Just to make sure that I do not lack this essential vitamin. And I want to encourage you, there are various other sources. It depends on the one that you have available, you can get it. And I just use this our board today to explain to us how the vitamin E works. And I'm also happy that, I don't know whether I've answered your question, Lucina Ohonsi. Have I answered your question on nuts? Yes, let me know if I've answered your question. If you want me to answer, to write the foods where you can find them, avocados, you can see them in avocados, nuts, you can see it, nuts, you can see it in some fatty fish, you can see it in some vegetables, you can see it in wheat germ. I'm talking of vitamin E, wheat germ oil. You can see it. Yes, fatty fish with germ oil, and you can see it. And there are several other foods. You can get the vitamin E sources. That is avocados. You can get it. You can get it in fruits. Yes, you can get it in fruits. Why? Yes, thank you so much. You responded to that. And I said you can get in fruits like mangoes, even the watermelon. Now, the vitamin E is great for conception. So, all the young people who are still trusting to conceive, they should focus on foods with vitamin E. Because ignorance of food and nutrition is one of the main problems we're having today. So a lot of them, they just eat white pastas, they all this ready to eat foods. They don't mind about these nutrients. And there is always a time in your life when you need these vitamins in larger amounts. And this vitamin E, it is when you are getting to the old age, when your heart needs to be protected, when your brain needs to be protected, when a lot of other organs, your skin needs to be kept away from sagging, from wrinkles. It's when your eyes need to be protected. It's then that you need this vitamin E. You need more of it. So there are as you are growing up, there are some of the vitamins that you actually needed more in number. When you are active, you need all those lot of the things like energy for vitamin B, which is also needed at all times in your age. But the ones that are often neglected, which will have serious health negative effect on your health, is the vitamin E. And so that is why I thought to talk about it today and to remind us that it's best to get it from food sources. And I highlighted some of these food sources. All of them, the avocados, the nuts, the fatty fish, the vegetables, some of the vegetables, the wheat germ oil. I mentioned when you talk of the nuts, the almond, the peanuts, and you talk of the seeds. I think I need to put the seeds too. You have to put the seeds. The seeds, sesame seeds, there are a lot of them. So you need to get to know that these are the foods that you can get your vitamin E, and several other sources, because you cannot neglect it. If you neglect it at this age, and soya beans is one of my, in fact, I don't joke with soya beans. It's not something you should eat more at old age, but because of that vitamin E, I add it a little. If I'm taking my cocoa, I add it. I did this morning. I add a little of the soya bean powder. Why? Because I need a little of that vitamin E. That is it. And so we continue to brainstorm, and I thought I would get more comments from you on this subject. More comments to talk on this thing. If you have any comment, any question on the vitamin E, you can drop it. If you have any contribution also, you do well to drop it. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you for even coming and for commenting and for participating. And so those of other persons who are in the house, you can also comment your view. You can also suggest. You can suggest something. If there's something you're also using that's working for you, we'll be glad to know. At least someone may benefit from it, including myself. So that is it. And so I thought we will congratulate ourselves for the board. So let's assess, how is the board for writing? I need your comment, please. This thing, I thought to get it, because you cannot keep doing one thing the same way and you're expecting a different result. So since it's educational nature, we have to sometimes, not all the time, so it's not every day we come and do, but there are some, because when I'm doing shorts and all of that, there's no need for this one. But when it's time for life like this, we may need it to explain certain points that need explanation. And I want you to comment on this one. How is it? Let me have your comment before I round it up. Let me have your comment on our new classroom blackboards for teaching. Oh yeah. Let me see, first person to comment. Oh yeah. So that we'll clap for you. First person to comment. It's only you that has been commenting. I guess you're not the only one in the house. My sister Lucina, I guess you are not the only one in the house. Any other person that wants to say something before we draw the curtain, because I want to draw the curtain at this point. Okay, we'll end it here, and I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank you, and keep staying healthy naturally. Gracious grace. Bye.